coffee, chills, and whispers in the dark.
The scariest nights never announce themselves. They begin with music drifting through the dark, folding chairs, circling a campfire, kids weaving between the RVs with flashlights, their laughter echoing through the campground, while the adults promise just one more drink before calling it a night. Everything feels ordinary, comfortable, safe, until it doesn't, because nobody ever realizes the exact moment an ordinary night becomes the story everyone still talks about years later. Hi Brewjas, welcome back to Brewja Coffee Hour. I'm your host, Danny Oliveros, so grab your favorite caffeinated drink, pull your chair a little closer to the fire, and get comfortable, because tonight's story is one I haven't been able to stop thinking since I heard about it. We're heading back to Memorial Weekend of this year at Lake Isabella, a place where dozens of RVs line up the shore like a tiny neighborhood tucked beneath the stars. Music floated from campsite to campsite. The smell of carne asada lingered in the cool night air. Someone was laughing around the fire while another group was finishing up a game of cards. Kids darted between the RVs with flashlights, squeezing every last minute of the night before their parents called them in. It was the kind of night where strangers smiled at each other like neighbors. The kind of night where everyone felt safe. Maybe that's why no one thought twice when they saw a little boy wandering between the RVs. He didn't look frightened. He didn't seem lost. He simply walked from campsite to campsite, looked people in the eyes, and quietly asked,
Do you want to play?
Before we get into tonight's story, I want you to picture this. The fire's still crackling. Someone's trying to roast one last marshmallow before calling it a night. The smell of smoke lingers on your sweater. Your hands are wrapped around a warm cup of coffee, and just for a moment, everything feels peaceful. That's exactly what inspired tonight's drink. I'm calling it the Midnight S'mores Mocha. It is a cozy white mocha made with espresso, white mocha, and your favorite milk, non-dairy or dairy, toasted marshmallow, and a sprinkle of graham crackers crumbs. It's sweet, comforting, and tastes like those last few minutes around the campfire before the conversation gets quiet. So for this, I'm explaining you two different versions. So this would be the hot version. If you curled up at home or lucky enough to be sitting around a real campfire, here's how you make it. 2 shots of espresso, your white mocha sauce, however amount of white mocha you want. If you want it sweet, if you want it less, go for it. Steam your milk of choice, toasted mini marshmallows, and graham crackers, and crushed graham crackers on top. You're going to be mixing the espresso with the white mocha until smooth. You pour it into your steamed milk and then topped the toasted marshmallows and sprinkle of that graham cracker crumb. And then the ice version, if you're listening on a warm summer night, maybe this one's for you. 2 shots of espresso, my white mocha, cold milk of your choice, ice, and mini marshmallows, and of course our crushed graham crackers. You're going to be pouring your white mocha and espresso over ice and add your milk, and you stir or shake. I like to shake these drinks in my personal opinion. You're going to finish off with marshmallows and graham cracker crumbs. And if you have a kitchen torch, you can toast some marshmallows if you want to for that fresh from the fire flavor. And one last thing, camping trip has that moment. The laughter fades, the fire burns a little lower. Someone glances into the darkness, and for a split second, you wonder if there's someone else out there looking back. Now, let me tell you what happened at Lake Isabella. It all started over Memorial Day weekend. I had just gotten off work and rushed home to pack. There wasn't much time to relax, just tossing clothes into a duffel bags, grabbing snacks for the drive, and making sure my daughter's favorite blanket made it into the car, and try not to forget anything important. A couple hours later, the 3 of us were on the road heading to Lake Isabella to meet up with family and friends who had already been camping there. My fiance was driving. My 5-year-old daughter was in the backseat, completely obsessed with Hannah Montana, singing every song like she was putting a concert on her own. I was switching between singing with her and playing Mario Party on my Nintendo Switch whenever I wasn't laughing at whatever she was saying. It felt like the kind of road trip you wish you could bottle up forever. Simple, happy, the kind where nothing bad is supposed to happen. By the time we reached to Lake Isabella, the afternoon sun had started setting lower over the water, painting everything in the warmth golden light that somehow makes the whole world feel quieter. The campground was already alive. Our family and friends had their RVs parked side by side, almost like a little neighborhood tucked beneath the mountains. Music drifted through the campsites. Someone was tending the carne asada, while another table was covered with snacks and drinks. Kids raced between the RVs with bikes, scooters, and flashlights they couldn't wait to use once the sun went down. We unloaded our bags, picked out our sleeping spots, and spent the rest of the afternoon doing what everyone else was doing. Talking, laughing, eating way too much good food and drinks, watching the kids disappear and reappear between the RVs. For a while, that all it was. Just another camping trip. Later, in the afternoon, one of our family friends staying in a trailer directly, not across, but I would say from the side, noticed a little boy was walking between the RVs. He didn't seem scared. He didn't seem lost. He simply walked up and quietly asked,
"Do you want to play?"
They assumed he belonged to another family camping nearby. Nobody questioned it. It was Memorial Day weekend. The campsite was packed. Kids were everywhere, so the conversation came and went. And the rest of us never thought anything of it. If we've only known. That wouldn't be the last time someone saw him.
Okay, besties, take a second to refill your cafecito, maybe light a candle, and get comfy, because the next part is where the real creeps come in.
By the time night settled over the campground, everything had gone quiet. Just a few hours earlier, music drifted from one campsite to the next. People were laughing around the fire. Kids were running around with flashlights, and every RV felt full of life. Now, only a few campfires were still burning. You know, the kind of silence that only happens when everyone has finally gone to bed? That's what it felt like. One by one, everyone turned in for the night. Inside our RV, my daughter had fallen asleep on the couch bed right beside the window. My fiance was sleeping next to her. My mom and I shared one of the beds, and my brother climbed into the top bunk above our bed. Before long, everyone was asleep, or at least we thought we were. Sometime in the middle of the night, there was a knock at our RV. Not loud, not frantic, just the kind of knock that instantly pulled you out of a deep sleep. My fiance was the first to wake up. Still half asleep, he got out of bed and he made his way to the door. Standing outside was one of our family friends, the same ones whose trailer was parked directly across from ours. They looked shaken. Before my fiance could even ask what's wrong, they quietly said,
"I think I just saw a little boy inside your trailer."
Confused, my fiance turned towards the couch bed where our daughter was sleeping. Our family friend pointed towards the window.
I looked over from our trailer, and he was standing right there.
Right beside the window, completely still, looking out into the night. My fiance looked. My daughter was still asleep. My mom and I hadn't moved, and my brother was still in his top bunk sleeping. There was nobody else inside. Not wanting to ignore it, my fiance grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. He looked between the trailers, around the picnic tables, towards the fire pit. Nothing. No little boy, no footsteps, no voices, just darkness surrounding the campground. Looking back, I think that was the moment our camping trip stopped being another camping family weekend, and became the story everyone still tells. At the time, though, we convinced ourselves there had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a shadow. Maybe darkness. Sometimes you see like shadowy figures because how dark it gets, and then the lake was right across. The lake was near us, so water waves. So we had no idea. That by morning, we realized this wasn't the only strange thing that had happened that night. It was only the beginning. The next morning, the campground felt almost normal again. The smell of coffee drifted through the campsite. Breakfast was cooking. Kids were already back outside, laughing, riding their bikes, like the night before had never happened. For a little while. It's almost convinced us that maybe everything had been a misunderstanding. But then, people started talking. Our family friend told everyone what they had seen the night before. A little boy standing inside of our trailer, right beside the window where my daughter and my fiance had been sleeping. At first, everyone tried to explain it away. Maybe it had been a reflection. Maybe it was another camper's child. Little side note, my daughter was the only child in our trailer, but she was dead asleep. maybe the darkness had played tricks on their eyes. Then another family friend spoke up. Yesterday afternoon, I saw a little boy walking between the RVs. The conversation stopped. They described him, how he calmly walked from trailer to trailer, how he looked at people and quietly asked,
"Do you want to play?"
Suddenly, everyone started asking the same question. Who kid was he? It was Memorial Weekend. The campground was packed. Surely someone knew who he belonged to. But as people started asking around, nobody recognized him. Nobody remembered him arriving. Nobody remembered him leaving. And nobody can tell us which family he belonged to. For the rest of the day, we tried to let it not get to us. We went fishing, we rode jet skis, we laughed with family, tried to convince ourselves it was just one strange misunderstanding. But later, in the afternoon, our daughter started coughing. She had already been getting over a cold, so we decided probably best to head home instead of spending another night camping. So we packed up, we said our goodbye, and left Lake Isabella while the sun was still shining. The drive home felt normal. We listened to music, we talked about the weekend, and by the time we pulled into our driveway, it almost felt like we had left everything behind at the campground. Or at least, that's what we wanted to believe. The following morning, we got a call from one of our family friends who had stayed behind for one more night. The first thing they asked was,
Did anyone tell you what happened after you left?
that's when they told us about the group sleeping in a tent set up in the middle of the RVs. Sometime in the middle of the night, they woke up, not because they heard footsteps, not because someone called out, but because they had an overwhelming feeling that someone was standing outside their tent. When they looked towards the fabric, they saw it, a shadow, standing just outside, close enough that they could make out its shape through the tent. They froze, waiting for it to move, waiting for it to walk away, waiting for to do something. But it doesn't. It just stood there, watching. And then, without a sound, it was gone. No footsteps, no zipper moving, no walking between the RVs, just silence. To this day, months after, I still don't know what everyone saw that weekend. Maybe every story has an explanation. Maybe it doesn't. But what stays with me is that none of us experienced the exact same thing. One person saw a little boy walking between the RVs, quietly asking people to play. Another saw the same little boy standing inside of our trailer while we were asleep and while my daughter was staying a few steps away from where my daughter was sleeping. And after we left, someone else woke up to a shadow standing outside their tent. Different people, different places in the same location, different moments, all during the same weekend. So I'll leave you with the same question I asked myself ever since then. If that little boy didn't belong to anyone camping there, who was asking everyone to play? Now, I want to hear from you, Brewjas. Have you ever experienced something you still can't explain? Maybe it happened on a family trip, at your grandparents' house, on a late night drive, or maybe it was just one of those moments that made the room suddenly feel different. The kind of story that gives you goosebumps every time you tell it. If you have a creepy cuento you've been holding on to, I love to read it. Send your story to any social media platform you see us. You can send it in our email with a little subject and the link saying Cuentos pa la Bruja, using any link of our social media bios. And it might be featured in a future episode. And don't leave out the little details. The sound that woke you up, the face you couldn't explain, the shadow that shouldn't have been there. Because sometimes it's not a monster that stays with you. It's that one moment you can't explain. Before we head out, if you make tonight's midnight s'mores mocha, I would absolutely love to see it. Whether you make it hot, iced, pile it on toasted marshmallows, or give it to your own Brewja twist, don't forget to tag me on social media. One of my favorite things about this community is seeing what everyone's sipping while they're listening. There's something really cozy about knowing we're all sharing a cup of any caffeinated choice of our own while telling ghost stories together. And if you have a drink you think belongs in the future episode, send it my way. Who knows? It might becomes Brewja's next drink of the night. If tonight's episode gave you goosebumps, or maybe, just maybe, you think twice about your next camping trip, I'd love to hear it. And you're welcome to follow Brewja Coffee Hour wherever you listen to. And if you enjoy this episode, leave a review, share it with your favorite spooky friend, and tag me on social media so I can see your thoughts. And I have one question before you go. If someone told you they saw a little boy standing inside your trailer, right beside the window where your child was sleeping, would you say another night? Until next time, keep your favorite caffeine drink close, keep the campfire burning, and if someone quietly asks,
Do you want to play?
make sure you know who's asking. Until next time, Brewjas, sweet dreams.